Welcome to the Jamesburg Presbyterian Church. Today is Wednesday, September the 23rd, 2020. It's good to know that there are people who will watch this video. I've been often surprised at the number of people that have tuned in to the devotionals. I'm also very flattered that people are tuning in to the Bible study and the worship services. So I'm very excited about the fact that we have gone live streaming and onto YouTube. So most of you know that one of my hobbies, one of the things that I enjoy doing is gospel illusion. And someday maybe we'll talk about how that is not one of the things that's prohibited by the scriptures. So I start. Card tricks. Everyone, most everyone, likes a good card trick. And as you might imagine, there are some card tricks that are easy, and there are some card tricks that are hard to do. What makes an easy card trick easy is one of two things: the fact that it doesn't require much skill to perform, or the fact that the performer has performed that trick numerous times before and could probably do that trick in his or her sleep. What makes a difficult card trick difficult is the fact, I'm going to show you a card. This card, I want you to remember the card. We're going to put it back in the pack. The fact that, and I'm going to shuffle the cards. The fact that the card trick requires a lot of skill, a lot of concentration, acknowledgement that in fact the card trick is difficult, and determination to do that card trick, even though it's difficult. Some of the magic shows that I've put together over the years, I've often put something difficult in each show just to challenge me, but also difficult card tricks are more impressive. But here's one thing I don't do. I don't put too many difficult things in one show, because a difficult card trick requires the acknowledgement that it's difficult. It requires focus, paying attention to what you're doing all the time and not being distracted by anything. It requires determination, and it requires skill. Acknowledgement is actually leads Sorry about that. Acknowledgement actually leads to maybe our going out and getting some help with what we're doing with that card trick. Focus means that we're not allowing anything to distract us during the performance of that card trick. There's one trick that I've done it 4 times. I paid $50 to learn how to do the card trick, performed it 4 times, and so far I have a 50% success rate on that card trick. All it takes is just the slightest moment where you're not focused, and then there's no recovering back from that. It also requires determination. I'm going to do this trick no matter what. So when I see it on the menu of my show, when we get there, I don't stop and go on to the next piece, pass over it. I actually go ahead and perform it. And last, it always requires skill. And that often means practice and preparation. Problems. Most people do not like to have problems. And as you may guess, there are easy problems and there are difficult problems. What makes an easy problem easy is that, well, you've maybe done it before. You've faced this problem, you know how it ends up, and you just go out and do it. Also, it may be so that you've solved that problem many times before, or maybe the problem doesn't require very much skill. It's just a common problem that all of us face. But there are also difficult problems, and difficult problems are difficult because, well, they require the same things that a difficult magic trick requires. Acknowledgement that you're facing something difficult. You have to actually tell yourself and be real with yourself that what we're facing right now is major. And you might want to go out and get some help in that acknowledgement. I'm facing a difficult problem. I don't know if I can handle it myself. I need help. The second thing that it requires is focus. When you're dealing with a difficult problem, you need to focus yourself. You need to be directly involved in what you're doing, paying attention to what you're doing, so that you do not complicate the problem. Third, determination. You're not going to run from the problem. You're going to actually face it, and that's called determination. I read an article just this morning that said that the suicide rate has increased since COVID-19 came into our lives. But so has alcohol abuse, so has drug abuse, and so has depression. They're not, and COVID is not just the only problem that we're facing. We're facing all the other problems that are attached to COVID. Social isolation. We're facing financial situations. We're also facing a very tough political year. It's just so unfortunate that all these things have managed to come in the year 2020. So we need to be determined that we're going to face the problem and not try to escape it. And finally, we may need some skill. We may need, as we face our problems, we may need to have skills like communication skills, letting other people know that maybe what we're facing we need some help with. It requires preparation. It requires focus. A good card trick or a card trick is kind of like a problem. Both of them need to be solved. Both of them need to be done. We need to acknowledge that what we're doing isn't really all that easy, and we need to face forward with determination to fix the problem. Last in all of this, we also need to lean on God. As a spiritual leader, of course, I'm very interested in persuading people to see God as a resource. Part of our acknowledgement is in prayer to God that what we're facing is tough, and that maybe how we're trying to solve that problem is also a problem. So we should not be afraid of leaning on God, of asking God to help us, strengthen us, lift the burden that we're carrying, surround us with people that could help us. So in the beginning, I showed you a card. I put it back into the deck, and throughout this whole discussion, I've been shuffling the deck. And there's the card. I'm that good. Thank you.